Faith without works is dead, guys. Faith without works is dead. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time for you to get it together. It's time for you to get it together. Listen, we all fall short. We all fall. We all bump our knees, get a scratch here and there. But we pick ourselves back up. We get back up. You know what I mean? You know, God obviously expects us to have moments where we feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, or oh my gosh, I gotta take a break, or oh my gosh, this is too overwhelming. This is why God always tells us to rest. This is why he gives us time to rest. Most of the times when he tells you to rest, it's also around the time when he wants you to fast. Do you guys know that? Because fasting is when you like come out of your flesh and you're like you're fully in spirit. And it sounds like you're weakening your flesh. So your flesh it doesn't have the energy or the strength to do things, right? So most of the times it's like you have no choice but to rest when you're fasting. And when you're resting, it's like you're just, one-on-one with God, and you're just reading the word and doing little things that require you to rest, whether it's reading, whether it's writing, whether it's really just analyzing things around you and whatever's going on around you. And, but overall, it's okay to have moments when you're like, man, like I don't feel like I've been on my P's and Q's like I should have been. I don't feel like I've been as, persistent or as consistent with things that God has told me to do. I think I've been slowing down a little bit. I feel like I've been like a turtle. It's okay to have moments like that. Some of you guys may have even had days where you're like, man, for some reason I've been sad for 3-4 days straight and I haven't gotten anything done. It's okay to have moments like that. Don't beat yourself up because you had a little moment. You're still a human being. You're not a robot. Yeah, you may be gifted. You may be gifted. You may have some superhero powers that the Holy Spirit blessed you with, but you still bleed like everybody else. You still bleed like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? You still bruise like everybody else. Also, you have to understand that the battles that you face is not normal. It's not your typical everyday type of war, everyday type of battle. We go through warfare, which means although we have superpowers, miraculous powers, thanks to God, we also fight. We also fight things that are not normal. We fight spirits. We fight demons. We fight witches. We fight warlocks. The average person doesn't fight that. Their fight is an argument with their boss or an argument with someone at work. Their fight is, I missed the bus today. Their fight is, I lost my car keys. Do you get what I'm saying? Or their fight may be health-wise. Their fight may be health-wise. No one's pain is worse than the other. But the point of me saying this to you is, yes, we fight things that are not normal. Like, everyone's fight's different, but we fight things that cannot be seen. Like, it's like we fight things that you cannot explain to the average human being. We fight things that cannot be seen. We fight the unknown. You see what I'm saying? We fight the unknown. But that also means that you're going to have days where you're like, man, I'm tired. I'm worn out. Like, I need to chill. That's okay. The point of me saying this is get back up. Just because you fell or just because you tripped does not mean you got to stay on the ground. Pick yourself back up. Wipe your bruise and keep going. They want you to think that because you fell or you slipped or you got a little bruise, they want you to think that that's it. That's the end for you. No, pick yourself back up. even our weak moments, even our days where we're slow, even our days where we're not as productive as we want to be, that's still a part of the plan. That's still a part of our purpose. That's still a part of our walk. Because God understands that we're not robots. God understands that we have days where we don't feel good. We have days where we don't want to talk to anybody. We have days where this journey gets too tough. God understands. I can't tell you how many times I've had a conversation with God about my weary days, and the Holy Spirit would literally say to me, I understand. And every time God says, I understand, it gives me a whole new perspective of the walk. It lets me know that, wow, like, you know, obedience is better than sacrifice. But there's some days where you're supposed to be obedient and do something, but you may get sick or you may feel sick. But God won't use that against you. He'll say, try again. Try again. Okay, you couldn't do it today? Try again. Do it tomorrow. The problem is that we try to be so perfect, and we're not perfect, but we try to be so perfect to the point where if we slip up or we don't do something when we're supposed to do it, you know, even though we're supposed to, but if we don't do it at the time we're supposed to do it, or something happens, we think that that's it, it's over, and we think we're a failure. And we're like, God, I failed you. I'm a failure to you. I'm this, I'm that. And we start to have these types of thoughts. And what we don't understand is God doesn't want us to think like that. Because he doesn't think of us like that. If God doesn't think of us like that, why do we think of ourselves like that? You know what I mean? So if you have one of them days where you're just down, or you have one of them days where you're not as productive, or you have one of them days where you're not as consistent, or you have one of them days where you're in your head, or you have one of them days where you're sad, if you have one of them days where you're like, man, I don't even know what's next, I need to chill for a bit, it's okay. Just remember that you have another chance to get back up. As long as you're waking up in the morning and you're realizing, wow, I'm breathing, I'm alive, give God the glory, give God the thanks, and get back up and start again. Don't let, because you tripped or you slipped, don't let that beat yourself down, because you don't want to cause a domino effect. You have to remind yourself, yes, you're still a human being, and you're allowed to go through things. And what you go through is not normal. Do you see what I mean? Because you have spiritual principalities up against you. So you can't stay down if you fall. You got to get back up and wipe that scrape, put the Band-Aid on the cut, and you got to keep going. You see what I'm saying? You got to keep going. When a person is in a race, like when there's racers in a race and they do the first lap, they don't just keep going into the second lap. They stop, they take a break, they wipe their sweat, they drink water, they recharge, and then they go back. The problem with us is when we don't consistently go, we see ourselves as failures because we're not doing that. But we have to understand that taking a break is okay. It's needed. Purging is needed. Resting is needed. If you slip, okay, that's fine. Get back up. Once you're recharged, get back up and keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Just get back up, get it together, and keep going. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.